Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to 2026 and Deal Talk. Terry Luker here, excited about today. Joe, it's kind of an in-house day, isn't it, that we're just going to spend some time together and talk about what's going on in our industry and get 2026 started.
It absolutely is. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a great conversation, Terry.
Well, great. You know, one of the things that I wanted to do is, I'm still amazed at the number of deals or the number of emails that I get from brokers, and most of the time it's brokers that I've never met, never heard from before, and they'll send me an email and it'll have an address and it'll say, "Can you fund this deal?" And I want to send it back and say, "Well, what kind of deal is it?"
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the lead of where I wanted to go to begin in 2026, and that's to say this. You know, now more than ever, business owners need commercial loan brokers, but they need commercial loan brokers that understand what's going on with the deal and understand what the borrower, what the business owner is trying to do. And too many times today, what we're seeing is that commercial loan brokers just want to take a lead that they get and they want to throw it up against the wall and think that lender's going to help them with that. And you know, from a Connect perspective, Joe,
Yes.
I think you could speak on this possibly. I know for us as Commercial Capital BIDCO, we don't really want to work with brokers like that.
Right.
Because we spend too much time on deals that we're never going to make deals. What could you say about that when it comes to Connect, and what are you seeing from some of the lenders in Connect?
Well, I think before I even go into Connect, I think what I'm seeing generally is the opportunity for a broker to help their customer or their client starts with understand your client, have a relationship with your client, and really know what they're trying to do. No matter how you look to fund this deal, where you want to take it, I think fundamentally you have to do some of that back work to present the deal. Moving it towards technology like a platform like Connect, one of the things we try to help the brokers with, as well as the lenders, is we give you the model by which you can build your story by. There's a lot of parts to the story. What are you trying to do? Can you share a narrative that says this is what my client needs and how I'm going to help them and what the benefit is both for them and the person lending this money? On the other side of that, what are the substantiating files that you're going to need? Right, Terry? Right. A great story is just a great story. Without the supporting documentation and showing how the numbers align and how you arrived at them, it's just still a story, not a deal. So I know you see a lot of that.
Yeah, that's one of the things I try to share with brokers. You know, I'm blessed that I have three brokers that have been through our school that I'm really helping mentor right now. And so I get to spend time with them on a weekly basis. And I'm really excited about that. But one of the things that I'm trying to get them to understand, and thankfully they do, is number one is, do you understand the deal? Do you understand the deal that your client is trying to get? You know, and what they're trying to accomplish. So I guess that would mean to me is the deal coherent? Is it understandable? And then the second thing with that is a lot of times, you know, our brokers miss this, and is the structure clear? Now, I'll never understand how someone could let me as a lender look at a deal and be questioning, well, how much are they trying to borrow? That ought to be one of the very first things that they're trying to tell me is, hey, this is this address and this is this property and here's what it appraised for the last time it was appraised, and we're looking for a 60% loan to value or a 65% loan to value, and here's the loan amount that we're looking for. You know, so that they're clear and concise. Too many brokers are just not clear about the structure of the deal and what it needs to look like. And I think that's where they miss the boat, because really and truly commercial loan brokers are storytellers. What I mean by that is they're telling the lender about the client and what the client's trying to accomplish. And too many of them miss that. They don't even know that if the numbers support the story or not. I've got a deal right now that I'm working directly with the client, and he sent me the trailing 12 and he sent me the business tax returns. And so Micah and I sat down and break it down and look at it right away. It doesn't budget. It doesn't debt service for the amount of money that the individual's trying to borrow, you know. And so I had to tell him, hey, this this loan amount you're looking for doesn't work based on the debt service that you can provide. And so those are simple things that commercial loan brokers ought to know and ought to be able to help support their story, but we're just not seeing it.
And I think that a lot of times when I speak to brokers, what I find is they think they found a deal. They have a client who's got a really good story, and the combination of good rapport with a client and wanting to earn money on your and how you make a living, those two things sometimes can get somebody in trouble because they're too eager to maybe put something forward that they didn't understand. And I think one of the things you find through this conversation, through all of the pieces that make up this conversation, you have a community around you as a broker that you don't have to get in over your head on a deal. You have resources, whether it's the CLBA, someone like Terry, anybody in this ecosystem that you could go to and start getting a better picture painted for that deal by asking questions of the people around you that you could partner with or that you could just have as a resource. And I think that's one of the things that was the theme of your last conference. Nobody's on an island. And I think that's one of the things we're finding is you may not know as much as you need to, but you really believe that you want to help someone. Let's have that conversation and get educated, whether it's through using a platform or through all the resources that are available. So I just wanted to put that out there because I think people need to be reminded you're not just a broker; you're part of a system. And part of
I think that one of the things that that I can look back, we're starting into our 14th year now, and if it wasn't for Mike Sneeden, when he was with Value Express and Country Bank, and Mike's retired now, and most of you know that story, but Mike helped me and talked me through deals that he was never going to do for me.
Right.
Okay, that were SBA deals that he would say, call so-and-so here and call over here and talk to this. Mike helped me. And that's the point that the CLBA, the Commercial Loan Brokers Association, is trying to build that community of people that we help each other. There's deals that I've called Chris Peoples on and say, hey, Chris, I need a hotel lender. And he says, hey, I got one in Texas for you, and I mentored Chris, but Chris is helping me now. And that's what our industry should be and has to be if we're going to be successful. So I think, brokers who want to understand, who want to be successful, have to understand what their borrower is trying to accomplish.
Yes.
And if you don't know what the borrower is trying to accomplish, if you're just trying to sling a deal up against the wall, what's going to happen is the lenders are going to get to where they recognize your name, and they're going to recognize, well, this is a guy that just throws a deal up against the wall, and he really doesn't have any substance about the deal. He really doesn't even know the borrower, like he needs to know him, and they're going to stop taking your calls.
Well, that deal pile is actually real, right? And you could be at the top of it where they pick from, or at the bottom where they'll never see the light of day on that deal. And that goes back to the conversation we started with on this episode, which is pre-underwriting a deal and telling that story and having it lined up so it makes sense and it can pencil so they can bring it to a credit team who are going to spin more cycles is the most important thing you can do to get that deal off on the right foot.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I used to tell finance managers, when we ran automobile dealerships is let the bank be the bank. I used to tell them all the time, you don't be the bank, let the bank be the bank. Let the bank, decide who's going to get a loan, who's not. But I will say this about commercial loan brokers. Yes, the bank still needs to be the one to make the decision, or the lender needs to be the one to make the decision, but you have to play a role in it. And part of that role is for you painting that picture for that lender. And if you're a good painter, if you're a good storyteller, and what I mean by that, it's backed up by facts and it's backed up by numbers, okay, then you're going to be successful and you're going to cash a lot of deals and you're going to get, you're going to collect a lot of fee income. If you don't become a good storyteller and gather the facts and be able to paint a picture for that lender, then you're going to be somebody that they just get tired of talking to. And it's like what you said. The one thing I love about our credit team here at the BIDCO and ACS is that Micah has built a reputation in our industry that when we have a deal that goes outside for funding, and what I mean by that, one of our bank partners, one of our SBA partners, whatever, what happens to that deal is it goes to the top of the stack. And the reason it goes to the top of the stack is those people know that Micah's reputation and her team's reputation is They do a thorough job. All the questions are going to be answered. All the debt service is going to be there. All the tax returns that they need to make a decision are going to be there. So they can quickly put that deal in their system and quickly get it to their credit committee and quickly move to closing. And so that's why we're successful the way we are is simply because of the due diligence that's done up front. If we could get commercial loan brokers to slow down and do a little bit more due diligence up front, maybe with a questionnaire, maybe with some information that they ask their client about, it's going to help them paint a better picture. Because here's what you're seeing. And this is throughout our entire lending that you're seeing already starting in 2026. And people are calling me all the time going, hey, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? Well, here's what I'm seeing. Yes, there is lending available. There is private credit out there that remains active. But guess what? It's more disciplined. They're not just saying, hey, we like that address, we like that property, we see the appraisal, here's the money.
Right.
What they're asking now is, okay, we like the property, we like the loan to value. What are they going to do with it? Right. How are they going to pay us off? They're no longer is it just throwing money at it. Yeah, we'll do that deal and we'll do it at 9%. Now it's, okay, we'll do that deal, but how are you going to pay us off? What are they doing with the property? Let us see a bio of the owner. Let us see, so they're starting to ask questions. So yes, the private credit is there, but it's more disciplined. Same thing with SBA lending. SBA lending, there's really two types of lenders. It's the SBA lender that has to go to the SBA to have it approved, and it's the SBA lender that can approve it themselves. But here's what you're seeing. Even the SBA lenders that can approve it themselves are more disciplined now. Nobody's doing away with the 125 debt service. Everybody's required to make sure that the debt service is going to be at 125. So the underwriting guidelines are tighter. What I'm trying to say is there is lending available, but it's tighter now. People are wanting to know that the people have a chance to be successful. That's what we're seeing, Joe. That's
100%. And it ties back to every conversation that we've had recently, to when you gave lenders an opportunity to speak at the CLBA. It was the same story that was resonating. We're looking deeper. We want to see better, and we have something to give. But it's just got to be to the right opportunity.
Yeah, I think the comment that's written here, that we wrote down is this: engagement is earned through preparation, not persistence. Yeah. You can keep wearing a lender out about a deal, but if you haven't prepared that deal, if you don't know what's going on with that deal, if you can't answer the questions about that deal, it's just, you're just that dog with the bone that won't let go, and instead of trying to make it, to make it something that could actually be, workable and get something funded for your client that then enables you to make a living. Because at the end of the day, we're all working our pay plan, but are you just working your pay plan hoping, or are you working your pay plan with a plan? And I think that's the question that we got to ask ourselves as brokers.
I also think the right client is going to allow you to ask those questions of them.
Yeah.
And as a broker, you shouldn't be, Terry, you say this all the time, you shouldn't sell scared.
Right. And
if you go out there and you ask the questions, I think a smart borrower, smart investor is going to understand that you get it. And that same smart person is going to wonder why you didn't ask some of those questions if you're just saying, I'll go get you a term sheet. And it's a double-edged sword. From both sides of this, you're being evaluated. So if you just do your due diligence, you can really drive something home that's meaningful to you and to everyone else around you.
Yeah, I think if you were to ask Jeff, or if you put us side by side and ask us, what does it say to you when a broker immediately says, can I get a term sheet today? and I can tell you what it says to me. It tells me that the broker doesn't have a relationship with his borrower, and he's just trying to be the first to the table with a term sheet. Absolutely. Instead of the first to the table with a solution that works for the borrower. And there's a huge difference. Anybody can deliver a term sheet. A term sheet's not worth anything, okay, unless it's something that can really be funded. And so that's what we tell people all the time is, hey, we can get you a term sheet, but it's not going to make a hill of beans until we see this, this, and this.
Exactly right.
And so that's what we're trying to accomplish and do. So I think as we go into 2026, here with our brokers and, with DealTalk, I think the thing that we want to say is there is lending available, but it's tighter. And by tighter, it doesn't mean that you can't get funded. It just means that you got to know what you're talking about on your deal. You know, you got to know what's happening, and there's a lot of opportunities out there. So let's spotlight a deal that we recently closed here at Commercial Capital BIDCO, just so all of you can see that there's still deals out there. It's not a big deal. This is a deal for a restaurant. They were looking to borrow about $675,000. Husband and wife team that owns multiple entities and multiple restaurants. And they just had some things that they wanted to clean up and tighten up and get going forward. And so we took a look at it. They had a piece of property that we could use as collateral. And basically what we did is the business has a good debt service coverage. It's got solid business performance, multiple services of repayment to us. And so what we did is we loaned them $675,000 against a piece of commercial real estate that they actually have for sale. And so they're either going to pay us off out of the proceeds from the restaurants, because they have multiple, or they're going to pay us off when they sell, the real estate. And it was a deal that was easy for us to do, and it was easy for them to do. And the broker did a good job of bringing us the deal. So those are the things that we're looking for. Do we prefer a deal larger than 675? Yeah, our sweet spot is about that $1.2 million to $1.4 million. Okay. But we still want to help business owners. And this is a business owner we're able to help, and a broker we're able to help, and we might be able to help them down the road. So there's still good deals out there. You just sometimes have to look a little bit harder for those deals.
I think on the other side of that, we have a lender spotlight as well. And what you'll hear in that spotlight, Terry, if you'd like to get that through quickly, I think you're going to hear the same thing that we've said resonating through this lender's spotlight, as well as what's in the news and about that deal that Terry just mentioned. It all ties together. And in 2026, and for those of you who are interested in really getting better at this, you're going to find workshops that are going to come through the organizations like CLBA and through Terry that are going to help put some color and some context and some tools around this for you. Quarterly, there are going to be workshops that have this messaging, and not only here's what you need to look out for, here's how you handle it. So if you want to move to that lender spotlight, I think it fits right into what we've been saying here.
Yeah, so on the lender spotlight would be like Milestone Bank, and we certainly appreciate them being a partner and a sponsor with the Commercial Loan Brokers Association. And we asked them a couple questions, just real simple, was, what's your current appetite? Are you doing anything besides 7A? And the big ticket item that Milestone Bank does is 7A. It's a big part of their product, but they also do the SBA 504 loans. They do some USDA B&I loans, and some mid-ticket. They've got a mid-ticket leasing department that will also offer some ABL lines of credit. So, we certainly appreciate Milestone Bank and them being with us. What type of deals best fit your wheelhouse is one of the questions that we ask them. And it's the small business borrowers who need anything from an ABL line to an equipment lease or an SBA loan. So that's kind of their sweet spot. If you're a broker and you're trying to get yourself aligned with Milestone Bank, give us a call at the CLBA and we'll get you connected with Stephanie and get you hooked up with them. They're a great partner and somebody who really, really wants to do business with the broker community.
Yeah. And really, one of the things that they value is how well you know your borrower. And again, it's the same thing we've been talking about this whole conversation is the more informed you are, the better your opportunity to build a relationship.
Yeah, I think in 2026, if I could get, commercial loan brokers to understand one thing, that's that lenders want you to have a direct connection with your borrower. They want you to be engaged with your borrower. That's going to help them close more deals with you. And that's what they want to do, is close more deals with you. So don't forget, I want to wind this up a little bit, but don't forget we've got the workshop coming up starting in February. I think that's our first workshop. It's about the middle of February. Look for more information from that. I know that we're doing this DealTalk segment the day before our webinar series starts back with Scotty, but don't forget on Tuesdays, in the afternoon, there's 2 segments of that webinar series that Scotty D has, and they're starting up. And so we're really, really excited about that. And there's 2 lenders per week that you as a commercial loan broker can get acquainted with or refresh yourself with during those webinar series. So those are really great things to do with Scotty D, and he is such a valuable asset in the commercial loan broker world. So make sure that you tap into that and you take advantage of that. Joe, any final thoughts or comments that we might talk about?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I just want to share that are top of mind, especially around the Commercial Loan Broker Association. The team there is really working hard, coming off the last conference, which was incredible. But they're working hard to enhance it. And really, it's because of the feedback. If you attend, you have the ability to share your experience, and everyone is listening, and they're turning that into actions. So this year, they're improving the breakout sessions. The app is getting expansion. The exhibit hall hours are going to change based on your recommendations and your preferences. And the general session is being completely reimagined. So I'm told, and I'm excited, that on the for 2026, the kickoff will be on St. Patrick's Day. You'll get some big news, and they'll tell you all about what's coming towards the end of this year. And then everything else that Terry's been talking about is fully in support of getting us all to that conference, shaking hands, and really having a celebration of what we've learned, what we've accomplished, and what we're going to do together right after.
Yeah, we're really, really excited about Indianapolis. It will be the largest event square footage that we've had, for presentations and for booths and all. And Scotty's really, really excited about it and believes that we'll have a sold out, event again this year. I mean, he hadn't let us down yet, so I doubt if he'll let us down this time either. So yeah. We're really, really excited about that. We have, in association with the Commercial Loan Brokers Association, if you're a broker out there and you've struggled and you just, you need to get more involved, you need to get wrapped up better into this community, take a look at the Commercial Loan Broker Academy.
Yes.
We have another on-site session coming up in March. We really try to limit those to about 5 or 6 people. We do that because we want it to be small and intimate, and we want to be able to work one-on-one with you. So there's an opportunity there for you to, take a look at the Commercial Loan Broker Academy and see if we can't help you get your business on track and get rolling for 2026.
Absolutely. We're adding content all the time. I work very closely with the Academy. And one of the things we've done for this year, and it was at the end of last year, but it's really one of the big initiatives we're pushing for this year, is to let you know that we put asset-based lending in as another discipline within commercial lending. And we partnered with RCN Capital to actually give us the smarts on how to really deliver that to you through them, from the standpoint of what it takes to do that kind of business. So definitely come talk to us. Check out the website at tclba.com and get some information there, because I think some of it or all of it will either be a refresher or something that you can earn and really add income to your year.
Yeah. So let me wrap it up this way if I can. We're just starting in 2026. 2026 is going to be a great year of opportunity, and it's going to be ever evolving. It's going to be moving, evolving, and changing. And you need to be a part of this community, the Commercial Loan Broker Association community, and part of DealTalk, so that you can stay abreast of the changes that are going on in our industry, and we want to help you do that. So 2026, it's your year. It's up to you to make it however big that you want to make it and however great that you want to make it. The opportunities are there. Will you take advantage of those opportunities? And we think that you can do some of that through education, through training, and certainly through community. So This has been Terry Luker and Joe Compagno with DealTalk. We appreciate your time today. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks. Take care, everyone.